If you really want a huge sense of accomplishment, I really recommend working on a movie on your own and then finishing it, because that's, I think, what would come close is writing a novel, maybe. I don't know, I've never written a novel. I've attempted to.
Maybe like writing a series of novels.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so.
Because
I had to do quite a bit.
4 years.
Yeah.
You wrote it, you thought it, you shot it, produced it, edited it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just writing a novel, it's writing a freaking Harry Potter series.
In the course of making this movie, my life has completely changed. When I started making this movie, it was just so many unexpected things happened. My life now is completely different from what it was back then. So many things happened that I didn't expect. I didn't know my brother was going to die. I didn't know I was going to have to go through a separation. I didn't expect to end up in the hospital. I didn't expect to be told that I might be dying. Finishing this movie has become kind of symbolic of transforming my life. So it's weird to have it finished now. Mm. And that's a huge... My thumbs look like toes. See? They do. I have toe thumbs.
Okay, anyway.
I have toe thumbs. This is very important in filmmaking, if you have toe thumbs. It's weird, when I hitchhike, only pedicurists pick me up.
I'm so sorry.
I love movies. I was raised in a time of true classic blockbusters. My inspiration came from Spielberg and Lucas and Zemeckis and some truly great 80s fantasy and adventure films. I don't really remember wanting to do anything else except make movies.
Patrick is very complex. There are lots of different layers to him. So one of the layers would be like when he's with a group of people and he likes to interact with people and he likes to communicate and he's very good at it. And when he's with a group of people, he will more than likely try to make them laugh and tell jokes. He'll try to engage them in conversation in a way because he's very good at communicating.
And speak up, April.
You want me to like yell?
Well, just speak louder. You don't have to be like, what the F?
Because that can hurt some ears.
I know you can. You have regeneration. So that's I'm so sorry. I turned into Jeff Foxworthy.
Why do you think it's loud?
If you can measure your back seat by the amount of bales of hay you can put in it, you might be a redneck. Fuck, that hurts. Welcome. Year and a half on this, because I won't shut up.
He doesn't work like any other director that I've worked with.
Hi, welcome to the set of R.E.D.
He's as excited and energetic as, I don't know, as an actor in the film, in the action part of the film. I mean, he's excited about his work. He loves his work.
You look like you have a thing growing out of your chest, you know.
This?
Yeah.
What a shitty transformer.
You look like a cyborg.
What he does is he makes that part of the fun while he films. I mean, he'll be goofing as well, but that concerned me. But the thing is he gets it done.
I really don't fit in this issue now.
I mean, we all end up having fun on set, and you see the footage to prove it. You see the footage that he needed to take, and then you see all the little stuff in between of all of us having fun.
I'm sorry, I counted weird. I was like a 1-2 pause.
And that's what makes Patrick unique, and he brings that same excitement and energy to all his projects, and I love working with him, and would work with him again in a heartbeat.
Pitch, okay? Be zombies. Okay, I was wrong. Somebody in there sounded like they were on a roller coaster. Because I've got people that come out to, they come out from out of nowhere and from far away, and they sacrifice their schedules and yada yada. And so the least I can do is make it fun. Vampire, zombie, Filipino.
You want me to watch now?
This movie has everything.
I know, I need better watch.
It was chill. It was like hanging out with friends sort of thing. But we still got shit done. So
Yeah.
that's good.
That was the intention.
And I got to be badass. Because I'm not badass in real life. I'm not badass in real life at all. I'm a pansy, so so it's fun being like.
I'm from Grand Prairie, Texas. This is where I grew up. Dallas-Fort Worth area is home. Dallas County, Tarrant County. This is where I fell in love with movies, where I learned to make movies, where I made my first movie, Vampire Killer. I shot it on 16mm and Super 8 film, and then when I ran out of money to buy film and develop the film, I would use every format of video camera known to man. Dallas is where I had my first film festival experience, at the Medallion Film Festival. This is where I started making my second movie, where I came up with Monster Cops, the Midnight Special. Monster Cops is basically Christopher Guest meets Cops meets X-Files. It's horror, but it's funny and it's heartfelt all at the same time. It's about a secret government agency that is dedicated to protecting people from the world of monsters. I met my wife online. We got married and she moved from North Carolina to live with me in Texas. And after a couple of years, her mom was diagnosed with cancer. So we moved back to North Carolina. And this was the first time I had lived anywhere else that wasn't in Texas. New place, new situation, dealing with her mom's cancer, trying to take care of my wife, and at the same time I was trying to finish editing the Midnight Special. Her mom, Brenda, was a huge supporter of mine. She really believed in me as a filmmaker, and that just meant a lot to me. Brenda died on October 23rd, and her funeral was on October 26th, and that was the same day my movie would make its first screening back home in Texas, in Fort Worth. It was a very bittersweet day. After a couple of years of grieving and making sure my wife was okay, it was finally time for me to kind of get back on the horse and figure out what the next project was going to be. I need to get back to making movies and videos again. I worked on Monster Cops as a web series for a few years.
If I ain't got my gun, well, Jesus, I take my ass home.
Made a couple episodes, met some really awesome people here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and learned what kind of resources I had available as far as filmmaking was concerned. A lot of talented people, a lot of support in North Carolina for filmmakers. After a while, I would eventually realize I need to make a movie. So I came up with R.E.D. I had this strong vision of a Red Riding Hood type character fighting werewolves. I wanted to make something more ambitious, something that was an improvement over my last two movies, something that had comedy and action as well as empathetic drama.
So going back to what you said before as the conceptual idea for R.E.D., it started as a short in your mind. But what influencing factors came about when you had that idea, and what made you decide, or what was the deciding factor to expand on that?
It was just an image, and that's normally how it is with me. I see an image or a scene and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But it was funny in my head. In my head, this was a skit. It was like Red Riding Hood, she's, cute, riding the forest, she's got a basket, and then this huge hulking wolf comes out of nowhere, and it'd be funny if she turned around and she had a shotgun. That's really how it started. I thought, and in my head, I'm like, that'd be funny. But the more I thought about it, I was like, well, it's not that funny. It's cute. But I couldn't get the image out of my head, so I was like, well, what else is happening? Why does she have a shotgun? How does she know how to use a shotgun? Maybe she's military trained. And it was just one of those things where I just kept thinking and thinking, and the universe kept getting bigger and bigger, and before I knew it, I was like, oh, this is like a movie. Okay, let's turn this into a movie. But that's the beginning of it, really, is just that's how you start when you have nothing. Because you can't just, I did start with a concept, an idea, a storyline. And I tried to fit that in there, but it helps to know what you have. So working on commercials and other movies and stuff, I knew a lot of actors. I already had a lot of filmmaking resources, so what do I have that's free that I can put together that can help me make this? A lot of the resources I used for R.E.D. were collected from those previous Monster Cops episodes. The first time I met April Crumb and her father was on one of our huge zombie days for Monster Cops. Love those days. Ton of extras lined up to get makeup done. April was a zombie, and her dad also played a zombie, the robe zombie, which I remember him asking if it would be okay if he just wore a robe, just to kind of shake things up. And I said, yeah, that would be cool.
And it was a huge set, and everybody was there.
There's a bajillion zombies.
Yeah, and like Dad was actually like mad at me. He's like, "You're not being social enough." Like, I mean, he wasn't like mad like that, but he was like, "You need to go and like be social so that you'll get noticed." And I was like, "I don't wanna. I'm shy." And
Don't wanna.
and then he was like, "Apparently, like you noticed me or something."
Yeah.
I was like, it worked, and I didn't even try. So we just went there because it was fun. You know,
Yeah,
but
because I remembered your dad, and then I remembered, I think,
that's what I said. I was like, "You and your robe is what."
yeah.
Because I remember like you showed like a video of like him turning the corner in his robe, and like
Yeah,
everybody's like,
everyone-
"Ah!"
After that day, April sent me her headshot and resume, and I had her audition for the movie I was trying to raise money for at the time, called Bobby's Closet. Bobby's Closet was this super ambitious sci-fi fantasy adventure movie in the vein of Jumanji, or really any Spielberg film. We had April audition, and her audition was amazing. Her character in Bobby's Closet was a vampire hunter that was sort of a spoof on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so we needed someone who could do the action as well as the acting, and April was perfect for the role. And even when we brought her on board, she even contributed concept art for her character. When it was obvious we couldn't make Bobby's Closet, I thought, what can I do utilizing April's talents? And that's when I came up with R.E.D. Go. When I come up with these things, it's not really like just I can't just write a movie. I have to build a universe. I have to have backstory. I'm trying to build an entire world here. So I started really delving into what this world was, who this character was. So I pulled back from my first movie, Vampire Killer, and the name of that character is Kate Rand, and that's really who R.E.D. is. R.E.D. is the future. Kate Rand was kind of in the past. She was a vampire killer. And then like 500 years later, after a lot of adventures, she eventually becomes this super soldier named R.E.D. in the future. But it's essentially the same character. And it's within that history, it was like, well, who is this person? How did she become this way? I even put Kate Rand in a Monster Cops episode. Sadly, it's an episode we never got to really complete, but I was happy to actually shoot the episode and edit some of it. And April, of course, played Kate Rand. And this would be Kate Rand in the present time as working for 19-3, working for this secret government agency, for the Monster Cops. And once I started getting more familiar with this character, with R.E.D., with this particular world, then we set off to make the first short film, which would become the first 4 minutes of the full feature.